Beloved child, you are standing at the door of a place no map dares to name, a realm suspended between what has been and what heaven is calling forth. The air is thick with stillness, as though time itself is holding its breath for your next step. In this moment, divine eyes are watching not to judge but to guide. God hides his greatest treasures in places no man dares search. And if you feel warmth or peace from this message, like and subscribe and comment where you're watching from so the angels know you're listening. Now close your eyes, breathe deeply. Let the angels lead your soul into today's divine journey. It happened quietly, unnoticed by most, like a soft rustle of wings just beyond the edge of waking. You were rushing through the day, heart tugged in 1,000 directions, mind cluttered with demands that promised importance, but carried no eternal weight. And in that fleeting moment when your soul should have paused, it didn't. You missed it, the sign. It was there, clearly placed, heaven sent, but it passed by your senses like a breeze through an unopened window. A moment you thought ordinary, mundane was laced with divine meaning. A signal not designed to impress but to redirect. A holy warning not wrapped in thunder but in tenderness. And it was missed. But hear this, dear one, it was not lost. The sign was not sent in vain. No word from the Father ever returns empty. Even the missed ones leave residue, a gentle ache in your spirit, an unsettled stirring, a moment that replays without reason. That's not coincidence. That's memory, dressed in mercy. Yesterday at 3:33 p.m., a woman dropped her keys near your feet. She looked up and smiled, then whispered, "Some doors only open when you let go." You smiled back, unaware that those were the very words you prayed at 3:33 a.m. weeks before. It was not just a moment. It was me speaking. You see, the divine does not shout over your chaos. It waits in your stillness. But if there is no stillness, there can be no hearing. You were never meant to stay in that house of haste, that inner hallway where your spirit is constantly running but never arriving. That's not the path of the awakened. It is the treadmill of the weary. My signs are not placed along that road. Pause now. Feel the air again. Do you sense it? There's weight to this silence, meaning in this very breath. Your soul is not deaf, it is distracted. There have been dozens of signals sent. A dream that repeated itself 3 nights in a row. The same song echoing from car radios and grocery aisles. A stranger's words that mirrored your secret thoughts. A sudden memory you couldn't explain. These weren't accidents, they were threads from the divine loom weaving direction into your days. But you walked past them chasing shadows, while the light whispered, "Turn around." And now, with love deeper than oceans and fire, gentler than candlelight, I say this, I am still here. The path has not disappeared, the door has not closed, the whisper has not ceased. But the time for inattention has ended. You are in a spiritual transition, no longer in the old, not yet in the new. And in this crossing, signs are no longer mere encouragements. They are instructions. Miss one and you wander. Follow one and you soar. Your soul longs for a map, but I do not send maps, I send markers. Each one found only in the stillness of awareness. So today I offer you this, not rebuke, but renewal, not punishment, but preparation. I ask only this, say it out loud, not for me, but for you I am awake. Let your own voice stir the heavens. Let the echo of your confession remind every part of you that you no longer wish to walk in fog. Declare to your wandering thoughts, enough. Announce to your overthinking, be still. Speak to your spirit, return to the light. Because this time you must see the sign, there is one coming soon. A prophetic image, watch for it. At 11:11 a.m. the wind will shift suddenly. A feather will land near your feet. A child will laugh and the sound will pierce something dormant in you. That is not trivial. It is me, tapping your shoulder, awakening the awareness that has long been asleep. It will not feel dramatic, but it will carry weight, eternal weight. And when it comes, your soul must respond not with logic, not with fear, but with stillness. The kind of stillness that can hear a whisper louder than a shout. Beloved, no sign I give is ever wasted. No word I speak returns empty. If you missed the one yesterday, know this today is your second chance. Not because I need you to succeed, but because I love you too much to let you stray. This is not about perfection. This is about permission, your permission to return. Return to noticing, return to presence, return to me. And if you feel unworthy, if your heart whispers, but I've missed too many signs already, let me respond with this truth. The only moment that matters is the one in which you finally listen. You are listening now, heaven's listener. You are walking through a moment that few will recognize, but many will remember. Not for what is seen, but for what is stirred. The shift is quiet, but the rumble beneath the surface is holy. This is the place where old chapters become kindling and the fire of divine purpose is lit not with matches, but with tears turned into oil. For you are not just being invited to hear, you are being called to awaken. There comes a time in every soul's journey where God stops asking for your attention and begins waiting for your response. This is that time. The heavens have not stopped sending signals, but they are now requiring alignment. You are not just being nudged, you are being summoned. The invitation is no longer gentle, it is sacred. The angels are no longer just watching, they are waiting. And the question now echoes louder than ever. Will you truly awaken? Not partially, not temporarily, but entirely. You see, beloved, awakening is not a feeling. It is a decision. A trembling soul-level decision that whispers, I refuse to walk unaware another day. It is what shifts you from being a bystander of your life to a co-creator with heaven. The signs, dreams, impressions, they've all been gathering, converging like clouds heavy with rain. And now the sky is about to open. But to receive the rain, the soil of your spirit must be turned broken, made tender again. This is why the past few days have felt different. The restlessness, the strange inner silence. The sudden memories surfacing from nowhere. These were not symptoms of exhaustion. They were birth pains of a new awareness being formed in you. You are standing on the spiritual threshold of 2025, but heaven does not measure years by calendars. It measures by obedience. And your next obedience begins with one declaration. I am awake. Say it again. This time, say it from the part of you that has long felt forgotten. Let it rise from the shadows in your heart, the part that stopped hoping, the place that gave up trying to interpret God's whispers. Let that place say, I am awake. For heaven does not record your eloquence. It records your sincerity. And when your spirit truly declares this, something shifts. The fog begins to lift. The signs become clearer. The voice becomes sharper, not louder, but unmistakably closer. You do not have to search for the signs anymore. You begin to sense them. The spiritual becomes tangible. Time slows. The ordinary becomes prophetic. You are no longer surviving days, you are discerning them. Child, you have waited for signs to guide your path, but signs do not make the decision for you. They simply mark the way. The awakening happens when you stop waiting for more proof and choose to follow what you already know is true. Do you remember the moment you ignored the quiet pull, the hesitation in your chest? That strange discomfort that settled when you said yes to something you should have declined. That wasn't just conscience, that was me. You keep asking me to speak louder. I keep asking you to get quieter, because your true awakening will not come from a thunderous revelation. It will come in the pause between breaths, in the moment you choose stillness over noise, prayer over panic, trust over logic. There is a moment coming marked by light. A golden hue will pour in through your window at a strange hour, perhaps just after dawn or just before dusk. It will feel like nothing at all, but the warmth will pause you. That's the sign. The air will shift. And in that moment, listen. Not with your ears, with your soul. The light will not speak, but it will confirm. The The Spirit will not push, but it will press gently. And the peace that follows will be the proof that you've entered something sacred. This is not a season to accumulate more prophetic words. This is the season to become one. You are the message now. You do not need to chase every voice claiming to speak for me. If my voice does not rise inside you with peace, then let it pass. For I am not teaching you to depend on signs, I am teaching you to become sensitive to my breath. And sensitivity cannot coexist with speed. This is why I am slowing you down, pulling you back from the crowd, removing noise from your ears, not as punishment but preparation. Because the ones who carry true instructions from heaven are the ones who have been taught to dwell in silence. Silence is not absence, it is where reverence lives. So beloved, hear this wake-up call. You will not awaken by accident, you must awaken by intent. Not by knowing everything, but by trusting the one who does. Not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by declaring that this moment is holy enough. And if your soul still feels dull, remember this. The confession of awakening is what breaks the shell around your heart. I am awake, even whispered with trembling lips, becomes a trumpet in the realm of the Spirit. It causes angels to rise, assignments to realign, and paths to be lit. Now breathe. Do you feel it, the shift? That is not emotion. That is alignment. That is awareness returning to the place it was always meant to dwell, in the presence of the one who sees everything, misses nothing, and still believes in you. Let your awakening be known. Let it echo in heaven. Let it shake the dust off dormant dreams. Let it resurrect what was forgotten. And let the signs ahead find in you not just a viewer, but a vessel. Because the soul that chooses to awaken becomes the one entrusted with direction. And that child is where the real journey begins. Beloved child of destiny. You are no longer standing in the hallway of delay. The doors around you are either opening wide or sealing shut. And heaven is not uncertain about your next steps. The light around you is growing brighter, not to illuminate everything at once, but to highlight what you must now leave behind. This is not abandonment, this is alignment. There is a holy shift underway, one that does not come with applause, but with silence. One that feels like loss, but is really liberation. You are in a season of separation, and I, the one who formed your spirit before time itself began, am leading this part of the journey with my own hands. Not every person who has walked with you was meant to finish with you. Some were sent for a season, others for a lesson, a few for a moment of mercy. But not all were assigned for the destiny that now calls your name. You have known this deep down, felt it in the restlessness, the lack of peace after the call, the strain in conversations that once flowed with ease. That's not coincidence, it's spiritual transition. Child, this is not rejection, it is redirection. For too long, you've held on to relationships that began in light, but now dwell in shadow. You've mistaken history for destiny. You've believed that loyalty to others is the same as loyalty to my will. But now I am asking for a higher allegiance, not to people, but to purpose. You cannot soar if you remain tethered. The ones who once inspired you now drain you. The conversations that once lifted you now confuse you, and the places that once brought you peace now unsettle your soul. This is not your failure. This is your awakening. A prophetic moment is coming soon. You will scroll past a picture of someone from your past. A wave of nostalgia will hit, but immediately after a quiet grief will rise, not for them, but for who you were back then. That feeling, it's me. I am not reminding you to return. I am showing you how far you've come. Far. Let go. Not with bitterness, with blessing, not with shame, with sovereignty. For I am orchestrating a reordering in your life, a refining of your circle. I am removing what no longer carries my breath. Some connections have become stale bread. They once fed you, but now mold your spirit. My child, I am calling you to sanctify your circle. You have prayed for clarity, and now it is coming not through explanation, but through revelation. Some will fade quietly, let them. Some will walk away offended, release them. Some you must choose to leave even when your emotions beg you to stay. Do it. This is not coldness, this is consecration. You are being set apart not to isolate, but to insulate your calling from contamination. The oil I am about to pour cannot be mixed with residue from expired seasons. You have asked, but how do I know who should stay? The answer is simple. Who brings peace to your purpose? Who stirs your soul toward me? Who sharpens your spirit, not your fears? Those are the ones I have appointed. Do not force alignment with those who no longer speak heaven's language. You will know them by the fruit they bear, not the image they present. And the ones who truly belong with you in this new chapter will not need convincing. They will remain by grace, not striving. I am removing the noise so you can hear clearly. You may feel a strange silence settle over your life. Fewer calls, less engagement, fewer invitations. Don't misinterpret that as rejection. It is sacred space heaven preparing your atmosphere for fresh instruction. Do not panic in the pause. Some connections are being severed because I am about to reveal deeper parts of your calling. And not everyone can handle the cost of your next level. I am not punishing them, I am protecting you. Because to carry divine responsibility, you must walk with people who recognize the weight of what you carry. So this is your wake-up call, child of purpose. Stop grieving what I have already removed. Stop romanticizing what I have already exposed. Stop returning to doors I have sealed. There is glory ahead, but it requires room. Room for new voices, room for true covenant. Room for the ones who will not envy your rise, but intercede for your journey. And those voices are coming. Watch for them. They will not flatter, but they will confirm. They will not drain, but they will build. They will not cling, but they will align. And when you meet them, your spirit will sigh in relief, not because of familiarity, but because of resonance. Child, not everyone is bad, but not everyone is appointed. I am not calling you to hatred. I am calling you to holy boundaries. You are not to become suspicious, but discerning. You are not to withdraw in fear, but walk forward in trust. For I am the God who removes, and I am the God who restores. What you release now creates the space for what I am about to send. And what I send will be better, not because it is more exciting, but because it is aligned. The year 2025 is not for dragging the dead weight of expired connections. It is for walking light-free and spiritually synchronized with heaven. So let me prune. Let me cut away what no longer bears fruit. Let me choose your company not based on comfort, but on calling. And you will find that what you thought was loneliness was actually preparation for divine placement. You are not being emptied, you are being made ready. And when you obey in separation, you will step into a unity so deep, so seamless, that you will wonder why you ever feared letting go. This is not just a release, this is sacred separation, chosen vessel. There is a moment in every soul's journey when waiting becomes disobedience, not because you are defiant, but because you know too much to remain still. Heaven has already spoken. The instructions have already been given. The next move isn't a question of timing anymore, it's a question of trust. The window is open. You have stood in the threshold long enough, lingering in the realm of almost hovering in hesitation, rehearsing the same questions over and over, waiting for the emotions to catch up to what the Spirit already confirmed. But now the voice of the Lord resounds in stillness. Step forward. This is not the season of delay, this is the season of decision. You have prayed God when in heaven answers now. For too long you've waited for conditions to be perfect. You've waited to feel ready. You've waited for confirmation upon confirmation. But understand, these signs are not replacements for obedience. They are invitations. And if you do not respond, the invitation becomes a memory instead of a miracle. This is the year where delayed obedience will cost more than you realize. You asked for purpose but did not act on the prompt. You saw the door open but waited to be carried through. You received the word but treated it like a suggestion, and still with love that refuses to give up on you. I come again this time not to persuade, but to proclaim your next breakthrough is locked behind obedience. child, listen. Not every step I ask of you will make sense. Some doors you must walk through before you know why. Some leaps must be taken before the bridge appears. That is the nature of obedience. It moves before understanding arrives. You once said, "But what if I fail?" And I replied, "But what if you fly?" You feared embarrassment. I offered encounter. You feared risk. I offered reward. You wanted certainty. I offered myself. I am the God who meets you in the obedience, not before it. Remember this: when Abraham took Isaac up the mountain, the provision was not visible until the very moment obedience was complete. The ram did not appear halfway. It appeared on time. So it will be for you. You've asked me to make the next step obvious. But my goal is not to make things obvious. It is to make you obedient. Obedience is not just doing the big thing. It's doing the small thing at the right time with the right heart. It's writing the message even when no one applauds. It's leaving the conversation when your spirit says this is not your place. It's sowing seeds of kindness when your soul wants to isolate. It's starting what you've delayed for years. Do you remember that project you shelved? That ministry idea you set aside, that call you never returned because it felt too costly? The weight you felt wasn't just pressure, it was the Spirit's prompting. And now the time has come to act. A prophetic moment is near. You will feel a sudden rush to do something small. Send a message, revisit a draft, organize a neglected space. It will seem ordinary. But when you do it, an atmosphere will shift. That is your sign. The realm of heaven is moved not by good intentions, but by obedient actions. The angels are not assigned to ideas. They are released by faith in motion. You are not too late. But the longer you wait, the heavier the price. Because every act of obedience is more than a task, it is a trigger. It unlocks things in the spirit. It positions you for divine intersections. It tells heaven, I trust you more than I trust myself. And that trust is what moves the hand of God. You want the supernatural, obey the simple. You want the miraculous, follow the mundane instruction with honor. You want influence, show up in the quiet assignments. I am not asking for grandeur. I am asking for surrender. And surrender looks like doing what I asked even when it's not convenient. Even when no one affirms it, even when it looks small. This is how the great ones are formed. Not in stages, but in secret. Not by applause, but by alignment. Not by ambition, but by obedience. You may be thinking, but I've missed too many chances. But I say to you, the gift of today is not a reset, it is a resurrection. I am resurrecting what fear buried. I am reigniting what delay dimmed. I am restoring what disobedience once closed. But only if you act. Do not wait for more signs. You are the sign now. And the moment you move, even if your knees shake, even if you weep while you walk, even if you take one step and pause again, know this: all of heaven takes notice. Because obedience is not measured by ease, it is measured by movement. A wind will blow soon, gently, then sharply. A scent will linger, faint and familiar. That's your cue. That's your moment. That's heaven saying go. Beloved, if you keep praying for the path to be clear but never walk forward, you are no longer seeking clarity, you are avoiding responsibility. I have not hidden my will, I have already spoken, and now I wait. Let your faith speak louder than your fears. Let your obedience outpace your questions. And watch what I will do when you take the step I already prepared. This is the year where obedience becomes your weapon, your anchor, your doorway. And in your yes, the gates of heaven will swing wide. Anointed one, you are now walking a path where not everything that glitters comes from light, and not every voice quoting heaven is sent from it. This is the season of appearances, the season when darkness dresses in light, when deception no longer roars but whispers. You do not need more power now. You need sharper sight. Discernment is no longer a luxury, it is a lifeline. What's coming in 2025 will not attack you through chaos, but through counterfeits. The enemy has watched your growth, seen your hunger, heard your declarations, and now he changes his tactics. He will not try to terrify you. He will try to impress you. This is why I am sharpening your spirit, refining your inner filter, not so you will walk in fear, but so you will walk in clarity. You cannot afford to let your soul sleep while your eyes stay open. You must see from within now, because not every opportunity is from me. Not every door is divine. Not every prophet carries my presence. And so, my child, I begin the deep work of awakening your discernment. It will start subtly. You'll notice a discomfort where peace used to dwell. Words will sound right, but something underneath them will feel off. People will compliment you, but your spirit will not respond. You'll be drawn to a message, then sense the fragrance of self woven beneath the vocabulary of faith. These are not coincidences. This is discernment being reborn. Do not ignore it. When something feels not quite right, that's the Holy Spirit whispering, step back. Not everything that uses my name carries my authority. Not everyone who stands in a pulpit is sent. Not every open hand is a divine appointment. And if you continue to evaluate things with the eyes of the flesh, you will be led into spiritual confusion. Discernment is the gift that guards the doorway of destiny. It is not suspicion, it is not fear. It is a grace that sees what the surface conceals. In this season, there will be many who say the right things but carry the wrong spirit. They will offer help but demand loyalty. They will speak scripture but lack surrender. They will operate in charisma but void of consecration. You must learn to test not only the words, but the weight behind them. Ask yourself, does this draw me closer to my Father? Does this increase my hunger for holiness? Does this align with what He already whispered to me in secret? And if the answer is no, walk away. Do not explain yourself. Do not justify staying. Do not wait for more red flags. When your spirit tightens in a room filled with spiritual language, trust the tightening. That is not paranoia, that is protection. You asked me, why have I been so sensitive lately? I answer you, because you are being trained to recognize truth in a generation drowning in mixture. There will be false alignments sent your way, people who mirror your language but not your loyalty to me. They will flatter your purpose but corrupt your purity. They will say what you want to hear, but the fruit of their lives will reveal a different root. I am warning you now not to create anxiety, but to cultivate wisdom. You are stepping into circles where not everyone clapping is celebrating you. Some applaud to come close, some smile to camouflage, some pray around you while secretly preying upon you. And unless you are grounded in my word and led by my spirit, you will be swayed by the almost, the half-truth, the near right, the nearly anointed. Beloved, do not let desperation cause deception. The enemy studies your desires. He will bait you not with rebellion, but with relevance. Not with lies, but with nearly right truth. And if you do not pause to test what sounds good against what comes from me, you will enter alliances that delay your destiny. A prophetic moment will come soon. Someone will suggest a partnership, an idea, an invitation. It will appear flawless. Others will endorse it. But your spirit will feel a faint hesitation, like standing near something holy, but off rhythm. That moment is your test. Say no, walk away, and you will realize days later why. My child, I'm not just trying to protect your heart, I'm protecting the oil on your life. You carry something sacred now, and the sacred must be stewarded. You cannot pour your attention into every voice. You cannot plant your trust in every field. This is not arrogance, it is stewardship, because discernment is the wall around your anointing. It guards the flow. It shields the purity. It ensures you do not mistake performance for presence. And yes, this level of discernment will feel lonely at first, because when you stop following the crowd stops following you. But that's where your strength will be forged. Solitude becomes sanctuary. Clarity becomes your crown. You are not being antisocial, you are being entrusted. And as you remain faithful to this refining, I will send the true ones. They will speak in rhythm with your spirit. They will not confuse you, they will confirm you. They will not drain you, they will discern with you. Discernment births divine alignment. And from that place, your steps will not only be guided, they will be guarded. You have asked for influence. I now ask for your integrity. You have asked to be used. I now ask for your listening. You have asked for more power. I now ask for more purity. Because discernment is not a spiritual luxury, it is a prophetic necessity. This is not the time to chase new voices. This is the time to tune your ears to the only voice that matters. Be still, be watchful, be wise, and trust me to train your spirit for the days ahead. Watcher of the light. You carry something now that hell fears and heaven watches with reverence. Not because of your loudness or learning, but because of what you've chosen to preserve. This isn't about starting anymore, it's about keeping. And what you keep will determine what you can carry. Your soul is a temple, your heart a sanctuary, and the atmosphere around you is sacred ground. But here is the truth, it is not enough to receive a word from heaven. It must be protected. You've come far. You've endured, pruning released people, taken steps of obedience, and refined your discernment. But now the enemy shifts again. He no longer attacks the front lines. He searches for cracks in the walls, small compromises, quiet distractions, unnoticed shifts in atmosphere. And that, dear one, is where many fall, not in rebellion, but in neglect. You do not lose presence overnight. You leak it drop by drop every time you allow something into your spirit that does not belong. A careless conversation, a show you once felt convicted about but now excuse. A voice you used to avoid but now entertain again. A habit you told me you'd surrender but left the door cracked open for one more time. These aren't mistakes, they are breaches. And the enemy does not need a storm. He only needs silence. He only needs the atmosphere to shift subtly enough that you stop feeling me the way you used to. And then, without even noticing, your worship dims. Your prayer life quiets. Your inner compass starts spinning. The peace you once carried begins to fade. And yet you've told yourself this is normal. Everyone goes through this. But I say to you, no, this is not a lull, it is a leak. And I love you too much to let you carry an open vessel into a season that demands fullness. So now I call you not just to pray, not just to obey, but to guard. Guard your heart, guard your time, guard your input, guard the air around your soul. For the atmosphere you tolerate is the atmosphere you will live in. You cannot host my presence in a space crowded with noise. You cannot hear me clearly when the volume of the world is louder than the stillness within. My child, this is a wake-up call for those who have been entrusted with weight. If you do not protect the anointing, you will grow numb to it. Not because I leave, but because your spirit becomes buried under distractions. The warning is gentle but urgent. There is an image that will come to you soon, perhaps in a dream or maybe while doing something mundane. You will see a room filled with smoke, not fire, just haze, and your spirit will feel the heaviness of that air. That is the condition of many souls, unable to see clearly, not because they have sinned, but because they've allowed the atmosphere to become polluted. You are not like them. I did not call you to manage chaos. I called you to cultivate presence. There are things you must now release, not because they are overtly evil, but because they are spiritually unprofitable. There are people you must now love from afar, not because they're bad, but because they cannot honor the weight of what you carry. There are rhythms you must now reset, not because they're wrong, but because they drain the oil I'm giving you to pour. This is not legalism, this is maturity. You do not guard what is casual, you guard what is consecrated. The light within you is burning brighter, but light attracts both seekers and shadows. And it is now your task to decide what enters your space. Even your thoughts must be filtered now. Even your scrolling. Even your late-night moments of fatigue. The enemy waits for unguarded moments not to destroy, but to dull. Because if your spirit grows dull, he doesn't have to fight you. You'll stop fighting yourself. But I am training you to be different. A gatekeeper, a spiritual steward. One who says no not just to sin, but to stagnation, to numbness, to atmospheres that feel comfortable but are not anointed. You have cried out for more power, more presence, more prophetic flow, but you cannot pour from a polluted well. So I come with love that cleanses, not to shame you, but to reset you. Let me purify the space. Invite me to walk through every room of your inner world. Give me access to the closets you've closed. The memories you've buried, the grudges you've allowed to fester under the guise of boundaries. The offenses you said you forgave but still review in secret. You cannot carry bitterness and glory in the same breath. You cannot walk in fire while dragging yesterday's ashes. So release, cleanse, guard. The atmosphere around you must match the calling within you. Do not wait until you feel dry to notice something is wrong. Watch for the warning signs. Laughter that feels hollow. Silence that doesn't restore. Rest that still leaves you tired. Worship that feels like routine. These are the signs. Do not ignore them. This is your moment to say no more leaks. Your spirit is not a marketplace for every voice. It is a garden, and I am the keeper. And as you guard it, I will begin to fill it again, not just with peace, but with power. Not just with strength, but with sensitivity. You will begin to feel me even in crowded rooms. You will discern atmospheres as soon as you enter. You will know when to speak, when to stay, when to leave, when to war, when to rest. Because your clarity will no longer come from chaos, it will come from the climate you've chosen to protect. Beloved, this is your charge. Keep your light burning, keep your oil full, keep the flame guarded, and I will do the rest, enduring flame. You have not been wandering in vain. Every tear, every delay, every moment you thought you were forgotten, heaven saw them, collected them, recorded them. And now, at the threshold of divine culmination, I speak not from a distance, but from within. I am not just the God of beginnings. I am the God of return. You have felt the ache, the quiet grief of lost time, the ache of what could have been, the dreams you once nurtured now silent, the relationships that frayed, faded, or failed. You've whispered in the dark. Was it all wasted? And today I answer with the thunderous tenderness of eternity, no. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing is beyond restoration. Not the years you cried, not the seasons of silence, not the roads that seemed to go nowhere. Everything has been part of my process, not to destroy you, but to define you. You were never off course. You were in the forge. And now, beloved, the season of forging ends. The season of rising begins. Not with shouts and celebration, but with reclamation. For I do not restore the way man does. I do not merely hand back what was taken. I multiply it. I elevate it. I resurrect it in a form more glorious than before. Your restoration has already begun first, inwardly. Notice how your heart no longer bends under what once broke you. Notice how your eyes see more clearly. Notice how peace has become your foundation, not your goal. That is not growth. That is glory. And now from that internal restoration will come external manifestation. Doors will open. But not just any doors you forgot you even knocked on. Relationships will be healed, but only the ones heaven still endorses. Dreams will return, but not with desperation. With divine clarity, you will look at what once wounded you and feel no sting. You will revisit places that once caused pain and feel the breath of peace. You will meet people who see the light in you and do not flinch, do not flee, do not compete. That is restoration. But restoration is only half the prophecy. Relut. Now comes the rise, and the rise will not be subtle. It will not be hidden. For I have refined you in the cave, but now I send you into the kingdom. You will walk in rooms that once seemed too big. You will speak with a voice that once trembled but now carries weight. You will make decisions that shape others, not because you are powerful, but because you are aligned. The influence I am giving is not for display, it is for dominion. Not the dominion of control, but of compassion, of spiritual authority, of righteous alignment. You will not need to strive. Your presence will shift rooms. You will not need to fight to be seen. Heaven will echo your name in the places that matter. For the one who remained faithful in secret shall now be established in the open. This is the fruit of your endurance. Do not mistake this moment for a peak, it is a platform. I am not raising you up for applause. I am positioning you for assignment. There is a sound your voice must carry, a light your life must reveal, a chain your obedience must break, not only for you, but for many. This is the inheritance of those who kept going. I know it was hard. I saw the nights you doubted whether you'd ever be whole. I heard the inner cries you never dared to say aloud. I watched as others moved ahead while you remained still waiting on my voice. I saw your private sacrifices. And now, child, I answer them. Not just with a moment, but with momentum. The days ahead will not be without battle, but they will not be without breakthrough. Every time you obeyed, you carved out territory in the spirit. And now the ground has been cleared. The time of planting is over. The time of reaping has come. You will gather what you did not scatter. You will bless what you did not build. You will walk into spaces where the only qualification you hold is obedience, and that will be enough. Because I am not just restoring your life. I am revealing my glory through it. Do not shrink now. Do not rehearse old fears. Do not question your worth. Do not look around to see who else is watching. Look at me, for I am lifting your head. I am steadying your feet. I am placing the scroll in your hands, the one written about you before time began. This is not the end of a struggle. It is the beginning of a mandate. You are not stepping into a better version of your old life. You are stepping into a completely new dimension, one you could not have accessed without the fire. So arise, light bearer. Let the oil upon your life flow freely. Let the torch you carry light the way for others. And when the enemy tries to remind you of who you were, stand tall and reply, I've been restored. I've been refined. I've been commissioned, and I will not shrink. You will no longer beg for purpose. You are the purpose. Walk boldly now, speak with fire, live with authority. This is the rise of the faithful. This is the vindication of the hidden. This is the legacy of the surrendered. You, my beloved, are no longer waiting to be called. You are already walking in it. Breathe deeply now, chosen soul. Let the weight of every word settle gently upon your heart. Do not rush away. Let the stillness wrap around you like a soft cloak. The journey you have just walked through was not only a message, it was a meeting, a visitation of divine alignment. Let it linger. The winds of the world may howl outside, but within you now there is a garden, still, sacred, alive. The voice you have heard was not one of human urgency. It was the echo of eternity whispering your name. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breathing slow. Let your inner gaze lift toward the light. There is no more need to strive, no need to rehearse how to respond. You are not being asked to perform, you are being invited to rest. Rest in the knowing, rest in the nearness, rest in the truth that you are already seen, already heard, already held. This is not the closing of a video. It is the opening of a deeper rhythm, one where your spirit remains tuned, one where peace walks beside you, one where you no longer chase signs but live as one. From this moment forward, may every ordinary hour carry extraordinary awareness. May you hear the voice behind the wind, feel the weight in every quiet moment, and walk forward with a soul deeply rooted and profoundly awake. Let the noise fade, let the light rise, let the breath of God cradle you now. Amen. The message of the angels will guide you.